Yeah, hi there. This is tuxocher.com again. Welcome on my video channel. In the today's little video, we want to talk about the upgrading or converting from my NAS server to OpenMediavault 6. But let's take first a look on the old configuration. Okay, I'm here on the OpenMediavault page, so let's take a look into the settings. And you can see here that is a pretty old processor, but that is so far okay. And here we got the disk installed in the system. And here, those here are pretty old 2 terabyte drives, which I plan to substitute. And there are some drives like this here, so-called SMR drives, which pretty heavily slow down the system. But let's take a look on the file system. Okay, we got here a little bit over 5.5 terabyte available, but I plan to take the old 2 terabyte drives out and substitute the SMR drives. Maybe we do a little small test. With the NAS tester is a pretty convenient tool. Go insert that and do like 4 gigabyte as a testing size for the file. And now we do a start. The testing is ready, and as you can see here, barely 80 megabytes per second for writing, and even 58 megabytes for reading from the network is pretty slow, I think, and not as good or that what you could expect from a 1 gigabit Ethernet. As you could see, the system is far away from that what you could expect from a gigabit Ethernet in transfer rates. That's almost only half of the transfer rate you could expect from a gigabit Ethernet network, and it's pretty bad at this case. The main reason for that is that I extended my storage space during the pandemic, and therefore I bought SMR hard drives that are hard drives with do the magnetic recording in overlapping areas on the hard disk, so the manufacturers can put more megabytes, terabytes on the same space. You might as well notice, but this has a very big impact on the transfer speed of a hard drive. I got here one that's a typical hard drive with the SMR technology. That's a Seagate Barracuda. They're a little bit cheaper than the regular drives, but that is a problem or issue with those drives if you put them into a NAS. And the second problem I got, as you could see in the old configuration, that I have a couple of older 2 terabyte Samsung drives, which are at least 8-9 years old, and in case of one drive, I got already a message from the smart DD man that there are a couple of unrecoverable sectors in the drive, so I don't want to take the risk that the hard disk will fail in the near future. So what I did is I got IronWolf hard drive on the system already. I got a Toshiba regular 4 terabyte drive. So I bought 2 additional IronWolf Seagate 4 terabyte drives for the system. So in total I had 4 drives. And with the SnapRate utility, using 3 data disk and 1 parity drive, I could use 12 terabyte of storage space in this system. With this setup, I tried even to recover a data disk. I simulated sort of that the data disk failed in the system, and to recover the data on this missing drive on the other drives with the SnapRate tools, that worked. Yes, it was possible, no question, but it did take quite some time. It worked out the whole night, at least more than 12 hours for a data disk that was filled only with 1.5 terabyte of data. That was, yeah, pretty long. And because I had to recover all the files from my backup, because I had to substitute three data drives and one parity drive, that would be too much of a hassle to do that with the SnapRay tools and recover them from the parity data. So I decided to copy back from the backup. And in addition, during those playing around with the system, I crashed my config XML file. So I decided right away to do a fresh install with, in this case, Openmediavault 6. And with this freshly installed system, Openmediavault 6, now we take a look on the result and on the transfer rate possible in this system. Okay, now I tested it here with the new hard drives, and as you can see here, I get pretty decent results for a 1 gigabit network. That is about, yeah, as much as you can expect. And but during the changing the system, I guess I messed up my config file. You see that here. So I guess I will rather install a new system completely from scratch. As you could see here, 117 megabytes per second is around that what you could expect from a gigabit Ethernet at this point, and I'm quite satisfied with this result. And now I have a system with 12 terabyte of usable space. I copied back the backup files, and now I still have more than 5.5 terabyte of space on the system. As you can see here, I use only 2 plugins on Openmediavault 6. That first of all, plugin which I used already in the old installation, that is Auto Shutdown. That takes care of shutting down the server if none of the specified IPs is in the network. That is mostly my desktop PC or my MacBook Air. So when none of those devices is in the network or can be pinged, then the system shut down. And another definition I did is that if the load is above 0.50, which means that either the system is doing like a SnapRay diff, a backup or something like that, then the system will not shut down either. So that's a pretty convenient solution for me. The other plugin used is USB backup to back up the contents from the server to external USB hard drive, and that is what I use those SMR hard drives for, as a data backup that you can use, but since they're not that fast, they're nothing to do in a NAS system. So far the system is working out pretty well. The only thing or trouble I had was setting up MergerFS. I think it was a default setting that the rule for copying the files to the different data disks was set to EPMFS, which means existing past most free space. But in just in case you copy back from your backup, the existing path will never be true in this case. So all the files, for example, from my photos were stored on one hard drive only. And that was the trouble. I couldn't change this in the web interface. So I did a pretty short setup and did set up MergerFS newly with the right rule MFS, and now the backup was copied smooth to all the hard drives, and they all are filled up practically most evenly. There are only differences in a couple of megabytes, which is okay for sure. Okay, that was my little review on Openmediavault 6. If you have any questions, just place them in the comments to this video or in the comments to the corresponding blog post. And if this video was a little bit helpful to you, you might think about placing a like on the video. And I surely would appreciate if you subscribe my channel, but then don't forget to hit the bell so you get a notification every time I upload a new video. Okay, that was my little experience with Openmediavault 6 and upgrading my NAS server. And all I have to say, till the next time, ciao, Turks Oche.